day 12, putting it all together. I mean, dude, we've gone through so much. I mean, just from the start of, candlesticks, the discipline in your why, which I hope you guys all remember, the trends and how they form with the break of structure and change of characters and, liquidity. I mean, we've learned so much so far. Um, and really, next week, I mean, is all about psychological hurdles and, honestly and transparently dealing with or how to deal with when you find yourself in a situation similar to what I've been in this past week. Um, because it's a marathon. Um, it really is, and learning how to keep your head in the right spot and survive and come back from it, even if it's just by the hair of your teeth. I think that's what the saying is. That's really what we go over next week. More of what to do post trade, the post game interview, and that's where is the biggest. People will learn an A plus strategy or a strategy that works, and it still takes some years to accomplish or become profitable, and it's because it's psychological. We go over all that stuff next week and how to survive in the long term, so that'd be cool. Today, though, we're putting everything together. So from you know uh, idea to execution, and what we're kind of gonna do is I haven't really thought too much about it, but we're gonna use a like step by step by step, basically what we've learned and go over it. Now, candlesticks and trends, or candlesticks alone, yeah, we won't really be using a lot of. We'll just use those extra confluences. Today is where your notes need to consist of some type of like if then that statement. Okay, that is mandatory. And I'm gonna write one out so you guys are more than welcome to copy mine by the end. But it needs to be like if X then Y, right? Your that's your repeatable algorithm that you are gonna have to create, right? It would look something like if liquidity sweep followed by impulse move followed by this, right? You execute targeting bank if then that statement. Okay. We've already learned how to identify a bias and everything, but we will have to include that. Let's see. Clear out all of NQ. Go back to a fresh chart. Should be fun. All right, let me open my chat back up. At any point, if you guys have any questions, just chat it out. Just let me know. I want to make sure they get answered. Today is really the make it or break it in a way. If liquidity sweep and forms a reversal by break of structure, then find for value gap, draw EQ, enter trade. That's my strategy for now. It's a good strategy. Oh man, I think that's a great one. All right. Okay. So as we know, we come into the market and we want to form a bias, right? And what I'm gonna do is hate me for it. We're gonna like just get rid of all of this week, okay? For I just man, Nasdaq has fucking chewed me out lately. We're just gonna go over some of this, and as we can see right here, we're in an uptrend, right? So we're starting already to form a bias, right? You're in an uptrend, on the 4 hour, on the daily, with some 1 hour retracements and change of structures within here, right? So top of the mind for everything we can see from, and you can draw this out this way when you guys are doing it in real time, whatever. But this was a downtrend on the 4 hour, and this since it has been an uptrend, right? So we can see that right here was the complete, I mean, on the low time frame, complete change of character from the downtrend to an uptrend, right? But we're gonna use this for a bias. We really get hindsight here, looking at it. I'm trying to like think on the spot on how to set this up. I think we just run through strategies, right? Or run through executions. Finding A+1s, right? Break them down, build them up. ABC already left. ABC is back. Welcome back, ABC. Long time no see. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. I low-key want there to be sessions though. Can I give me 1 second real quickly just for my own sake of ease? That's a little too bright. NASDAQ. Ooh, wait. 18. Okay, that works perfectly. A little bright. I want to be able to see it so we can identify like what's pre-market and after hours because I don't like those. I don't think you guys will either. All right. I'm trying to find. I'm looking around. I'm shopping. Shopping for what I see. Low key, we could use this example. I think. Let's see. Is it paired with the liquidity sweep back? Kind of. More of a liquidity grab. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I think. Get rid of this. Go back to the daily just to see. I'm calling that a liquidity grab. I mean, it's 100% a liquidity grab. Okay. That's what we're gonna do. So, if this is all we can see right here, okay, I know we know exactly what's gonna happen. Ignore that. We can see that we just had a liquidity grab on the daily time frame. All right, we come down, we have taken out some major lows, have a nice little hold, and on the 1 hour, we are starting to form what could be either a retracement or a full break of structure. Okay. What time of day is this? Let's hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I accidentally forgot this is on the 1 hour chart. Screw me. Let's go 15-minute. I want to get it like right at 9:30. Should be. Nope. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. There you go. Let's say you get 9:30. So we come into the market this day, right? And we are forming a bias, right? So we're currently still coming out of a one or daily time frame, 4 hour time frame downtrend. Everything we can see from this point on, we have just swept major liquidity that is not. Can I not go any farther back than that? That is not, any low resistance liquidity, right? It's not stacking on the daily time frame because the next daily resistance or liquidity would be these lows right there. Okay. And then just some crap down here on the daily time frame. So we've taken out all low resistance liquidity, aka we have freed this market up, and we are now starting to trend higher. We can clearly see this market created a low and higher lows, and potentially now, trying to create a higher low as well. Right? We can see we had a very nice extension move right here. And now we've been kind of consolidating, right? So this is typically where your bias for the day comes into place, right? Your bias and what my bias in hindsight would probably be is look for a pullback long, right? If we go to that 1 hour, it's gonna make a lot of sense. Damn it, like just gives it all fucking away, even though we already know. Looking at it this way, we can see that this is somewhat of a retracement already, but using EQ, no, that's not EQ. Using EQ, we haven't really pulled back to the sweet spot at all. I mean, we are at like 0.9 of the move. We are in a massive 1 hour fair value gap to the downside with some session and daily liquidity up here at the top. You always want to mark that out. You always want to mark your liquidity out. Okay. Mark it out on the higher time frames where your high objectives would be, high time frame objectives. Okay. Come down here. That's previous day high. So previous New York high. That's New York session liquidity. Come in here. That'd be what, 6? Yep. So there is Asia open. And gotta click this again, Loki. Okay. And there's your London high. So now we've gotten all the high upside objectives on the 1 hour marked out. This is, I don't remember what time Asia closes off the top of my head, but this is session. It's at least London lows. So session liquidity down here. Okay. And then we have all of this volume imbalance right here. Okay. So right here, we can mark all of the liquidity that we're going to need for that day out. We'll go down again to another step down in the lower time frame. And this is where we can start to really refine. Looking at it this way, it makes me wonder if we're trying to form a 15-minute downtrend, right? We've had a break of structure and change of character, technically. Yeah, come down, right? We see the lower low, we see the lower high, right? So I also can see that we have some low resistance liquidity down here. I don't mean for those to be so thick. So that type of liquidity, it's not session liquidity, it's just low resistance liquidity. I would mark that with white. That's how I set my charts up. Okay. I want to look into yesterday's price action. It's just pure up, right? What kind of involvement we got over here? Some more right there. That's already taken out. This is taken out. And then we do have a little bit more down here. Okay. Go back to that 15-minute chart. Let's see if we can maybe even try 1 hour. Technically, I'm pretty sure that's equilibrium. And there's this. Right, matching with EQ and this liquidity, right? So that would be my target entry. How you would set that up if you were trying to write this out would be, and this is all pre-market shit. This is all what you do in pre-market. Right. I know we went through that very quickly, so now let's take a second and go over it. In pre-market, you have like your main objective in pre-market. Let's write this down actually. Pre-market. Pre-market to do. Okay. You need to understand high time frame biased, right? AKA trends. Okay. Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? If we're in, no matter what trend we're in, what part of the trend? Okay. What part of the trend are we in? Are we in the retracement? Are we coming out of an extension? Are we in the extension? Are we still extending? What part of it? Right? You gotta have that answer. Okay. You then need to mark session liquidity. Actually, no, mark session, comma, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and then 4 hour and daily are typically the same fucking thing. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Liquidity. Okay. You gotta do that. And then find ideal. Okay. Keyword ideal because it doesn't always come. Sometimes you're wrong. Find ideal target area. I would put area for entry to continue or to right. Okay. In pre-market, you gotta understand understand high time frame bias, like the trends, what part of the trend you're in, right? You want to mark out session liquidity, the 15-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour liquidity, all of this. You want to find the ideal target area for your entry that would align with the high time frame bias, right? So target entry, yeah, right. I don't think I gotta rewrite that. You understand what I'm saying? So like in pre-market, you absolutely want to do this, and then I would say if you want to go like extra, which you should, find area that would change your bias. Okay. Changing your bias would be at what point am I no longer going to be like, oh, this is up. Okay. For me, that's if we break under this on this 1 hour chart. If we go to the 15-minute, still kind of the same thing, right? It's because this is the break of structure, right? If we come back under that break of structure, we're no longer in an uptrend. I mean, shit, realistically, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I would go with, right? You can use lines like that, like looking for breaks of structures. Where would we have that two-step trend confirmation? You can use, I swear I clicked it, bro. I swear that happens to me all the time. You can use trend lines. Okay. If you get a nice little trend line going, you can be like, oh, cool. If we break the trend line, then maybe we're going to, really change out. Right. Up here, you can be like, well, if we refuse to invert this fair value gap that we're holding out of, actually, it'd be this one right here. If we can't get above this, then maybe we need to look short because this could just be, that higher time frame retracement back to the downside. Right, you want to kind of have some ideas against you, right? Play the devil's advocate, and I do recommend doing that. Okay. If you see multiple fair value gaps in one direction, don't look at closer fair value gaps for entry. I'm not sure if you asked this. I didn't even see the question above it. Should we mark the fair value gap below the fair value gap? Yeah. So you absolutely can. We go back to that 1 hour. I believe that's where that came from. Yeah. I mean, might as well, right? Come in here, mark this one out. Because, worst case, we come through that, we're in here, right? Then you can just do what we talked about when we went over fair value gaps. You can kind of watch. With this one being at EQ, well, I feel like that was EQ. Or was it liquidity? I think that was EQ. Just for mental sake, I'm gonna. Do I not have EQ? Oh, I thought I did. Okay. Yeah, top fair value gap was EQ. Yeah. Right. So yeah, you absolutely can mark this one out. Just right, if we come down here, maybe we got to watch this. Um, we could also come in here. We can narrow things down. So, right, look at this. I got a little bit of a 15-minute fair value gap in this range that aligns exactly with EQ. If that's truly what EQ was, I gotta check that here in a second because I don't want to say it is and then like it not be. Let me see. I drew that out from here to here. It's not EQ. Oh, it's snowing now. I can hear it. Okay, so that was EQ. Right. So we broke it down. We found this. Your next step is we're going to go back to the 1 hour. So once I have all this done, and now the fair value gaps are a little wiggly, what I want to do is go in the 1 hour. Okay. And I want to look for my favorite thing, SMT divergences on the macro, on the high time frames, right? Not worried about so much of pre-market right this second on the 1 hour. I really want to see if there's any higher time frame ones that I need to be aware of. That would be such as like ES has just recently taken out the equivalence of 310, 25, 310. That had happened. Maybe we need to readjust, right? I don't see that. So everything's good on that front. I don't see anything else on this time frame that should warrant a concern. Now we're going to drop time frame and we're going to go in the 15-minute. And this is where you want to look inside of pre-market. So right there is my bearish SMT. ES. And you should technically do everything we just did for ES as well. If you want to trade ES. If you plan to trade ES, then do everything exactly how we just did it on NASDAQ, the equivalents. If you don't really trade that ES, then just kind of be aware of it. Find the equivalents of the things you found on NASDAQ is what I'd recommend. So coming in here, though, we have an SMT. ES created a higher high. NASDAQ did not, right? So knowing how SMTs work, we can predict price is going to want to at least come back to 6701. Okay. That'd be the completion of the SMT. 0.1, 0.2, lowest point in between for the bearish. Looking at this also, I see a little bit of, if this is unswept, low resistance liquidity. So we may even come down to 6,700 flat, right? Get a little liquidity sweep down here. Okay, cool. Kind of interested in that. We also don't have many options as a fair value gap on ES as we do on NASDAQ because the day before, this day that I'm drawing on, didn't have such a volatile move on ES. So maybe we need to mark out this fair value gap. Maybe if we see ES come into this, we could start to look for more upside, right? you want to form some type of correlating setup in a sense. Okay, so I'm gonna take a sip of my Sprite. We're gonna update the notes. Am I the only one who drinks from a 2 liter, by the way? I just buy 2 liters and just fucking drink them. Find this. Do. Check for 1 hour or higher. Okay, because 1 hour you're gonna see 2 liter wine. Oh hell no, bro. Sprite, bro. I am not that crazy. Check for 1 hour or higher SMTs. Okay, and then check for 15-minute or lower SMTs. And then this would be like pre-market moves, pre-market highs and lows. Okay, because then this would be like, I wouldn't say previous session, but like previous day highs and low, right? Right, because this is the macro, this is the micro. Okay. Cool. So coming into this day, how you would form your bias and what my bias would sound like is, all right, I think we're definitely long on the day. However, I think our best entry is going to come under a sweep of 822 on NASDAQ, potentially 670 on ES to complete the 15-minute bearish SMT we have seen. We do have a fair value gap down here on ES as well, 6690 roughly. That could possibly align with NASDAQ pulling back to roughly equilibrium of yesterday's upside move of 742. Okay, so in a perfect world, I want to at least see some type of retracement down into this area to then break it down again, go down to that 5 minute, look for liquidity sweep, look for this, that, whatever, so that we could set up a move to catch the upside, right? To trade with the trend that we're seeing on the 15-minute. Even if, here's the thing, you guys may look at this some days and go, wow, we're still in a downtrend, right? Technically, at this current moment that we can see, we are in a 15-minute downtrend. But if we target, let's say hypothetically, some type of long entry down here with proper, let's say we risk just this fair value gap or whatever we see, and we target these highs, day high maybe previous day high, we get a great risk to reward, and that's plenty of money. That's 200 points. That wouldn't be a bad trade. Because even if we came up there and just swept high of day or previous highs and did, continued into a downtrend, we would still be, chilling for the day, right? So you can still be wrong and be right, if that makes any sense. Right? Maybe we don't get extended upside into 310. Maybe we just get a wick of, day highs. The next thing I think you guys should always do, and I'm going to have to set this up. What day of the week is this? November 25th. We're going to go to November 20. Where am I at? 25th? Oh, this is Monday too. Is it really? I didn't even realize this was a Monday. Oh, it's a Tuesday. Wait, what? Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, never mind. So, start fresh. Let's go roughly where we were. So, bingo. Just like we know with Qs in the supply and demand charts, right? I have mine on Qs. You can have yours on the same one, right? So if you have like test or Q-tip or whatever it is, you can draw your levels on the same one, and that'd be fine because then you could just like go down like I do with looking for SMTs. However, mine are completely different layouts, so whatever. But looking at it, right, you want to now form up some type of bias using supply and demand. Okay, so right here, we are in no man's land. We're in a nice little chop block between 606 and 603. Okay, these make setting up bias super easy. So you have three potential moves. Okay, one, we chop and we do nothing all day long. Okay, if that's the case, I want nothing to do with it. Two, if we break under 603 and maybe see a retest, we can look for a drop into the next level, 598, and then aka the same thing. If we break through 598, look for a retest. That's going to take us down to 594. Okay. Then to the upside, if we break 606, get retest, probably going to take us to 610. Okay. Inside of this, I don't really want to be playing games. I'd rather let it do what it wants to do. The next thing you also want to think about is we don't have a retest after the day before break. Okay, we know that the market likes to form breaks and retests. We broke this level yesterday, the day before, 2 days ago, whatever Thursday that was, of 606. Never saw a retest, and here we are retesting it. Right? And then yesterday, we broke above 598 and never saw a retest. Maybe we want to come back to there. Maybe we want to just break the highs and go. So worst case, let's pairing it with this. If we don't see a further drop to look for a long into, if we just see a break of 606, then we can use that as a plan B to maybe catch some upside. Look for a break and retest up to 610, 611. Okay. If we see a very nice break and retest under 603, we can absolutely look to short it. Let's go to SPY now. Make sure this aligns. Yeah. So SPY, we see roughly the exact same thing. Okay, but this is a retest on the 5-minute. I'm 90% sure. Yeah. So on SPY, we did see a retest of 664.6. Okay. And pushing up above 670 would take us to 673. Under 67, 67, it would take us down to 664. Okay, so it's the same kind of chop range. We have a chop range. We'll look for a break, a retest higher, and a break and retest to the downside, right? So far, does this make sense to some degree on forming your pre-market bias? E-Red, yep, 100%. Narc. Knack? Narc? I don't know. I'm gonna call you Narc. Narc maybe. If I got 4 yeses, 3 yeses, then I'm chilling. Cool. So now that we've set everything up, the next step is just to sit and wait. To manage a little bit of everything. So, what time of day is this? I don't want to run it way too fast. Okay, there's market open. Market open instantly dropped and swept 822, which could potentially align with the SMT. However, look at something here. 5 minutes into market open, and what are we already seeing? NASDAQ swept to take out its lows, its equivalence of 6701, right? But ES actually pumped higher. This is where things can get a little confusing. And if we go back here, what time of day is this? Go 5 minutes. I wish I could like replay all of it at the exact sync. Right there. So I skipped a little ahead. We can see SPY jumped straight up to 670. And Q's dumped down to 603. This could potentially set up a push and pull day. NASDAQ wants to maybe hold 603. SPY maybe wants to, stay under 670. Okay. So we take note of that. We watch this in real time, right? And let's keep watching, right? And we're looking for a trade on NASDAQ. So we're going to watch NASDAQ. Wow. Holy fuck. The market absolutely plummeted. Okay. 5 minutes? Yep. Okay. I need to back this up. Select bar. Let's do this bar again. Exactly where we were. Click once. Okay, I thought it was going to drop. I was waiting for it. So right here, we see liquidity sweep, but we don't have anything else, right? So remember that, we got liquidity sweep, maybe an impulse move. I'm not seeing a fair value gap. I'm not seeing anything. So that still warrants us to wait. And if we waited, bam, We then just swept out those lows, restarts that cycle over to prevent any entry off that fake liquidity sweep of 822, right? Back to the 5 minute, and it did it again. Okay. I'm guessing that like 1 minute chart just ends up plummeting low key without any sort of retracement. Yeah, just absolutely rips through all of this. So then right here, that fair value gap disappears. We're under EQ. We'll leave that for a second. Let's click this again, see if we can't get more information. Bam. Now I can get rid of that fair value gap, right? Remember the narrow out process, right? If like you trade the first 15 minutes, only if I see a really good setup. If I see something that's like super of interest, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely would. I'm not opposed to it. But we had that fair value gap, right? We smashed through it. We go ahead and just get rid of it. It's not relevant anymore. And now we watch the next one. Oh, I shouldn't have changed time frames. Whatever. Can you get rid of the higher time frame fair value gap because it's a low time frame closes below? Yes. Okay. In this situation, yes, I would. And shit, not even in this situation, I would. Right? If we're smashing through it with that type of volume, I probably would. And then if we, what time of day is this? 45. This is on the 5 minute. What time is this? Just make sure things are aligning. Yeah. Right. So that is. I jumped ahead by accident. Shit. Oh, I didn't. Wait. 45. Okay. So look right here. 45-minute candle. Q's is pulled back to 598. SPY has caught up. That's crazy that type of short actually happened on SPY. SPY is back down here. We are approaching a key level for potential on SPY. So it's something to take note of, right? On ES, we have taken out its liquidity, but not its fair value gap, right? So, oh, never mind. Jump time frames and it's just gone. So you get a little sneak peek there. I guess we just ruin it. Let's go ahead and do it. Actually, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on ruining it. So in this moment, time's still ticking. Click away. Keep clicking. Okay, we got a fair value gap touch. Okay. We do have little bit baby ass liquidity, is what I would call this. On the 1 minute. Can I grab that, please? There we go. A little bit of something down there that we could just keep in mind. No idea if we're actually sweep it or not. Now I can go to ES and be like, cool, this is gone. And then ES is equivalence of that level we marked out just a second ago. That was previous day at 9:51. Previous day at 9:51 is not even there. It's a bullish S&T. Yeah, wait. 9:51's way down here. Holy shit. Okay. 9:55. That's 9:51. What the fuck? Okay, there you go. Now you have the correlating lines marked out, right? So that liquidity that's potentially getting targeted on NASDAQ that we're almost at is all the way down here on ES, okay? So something I would take note of, right? And technically that's previous New York low if you wanted just to mark that out. On ES, we'll keep watching. It may flip here. It may go down to liquidity. I honestly don't know. Let me zoom in so we can see price action a little better. Okay. Click, click, click. Give it 2 clicks right here. What time frame is this? 51. Let's go down to this on the 1 minute now. 1, 2, right there. Did I jump too far ahead? I did not. Right? Oh, I'm on fucking ES. SPY. All right, there's NASDAQ. Okay. So NASDAQ is holding 58. SPY has retested and held 664. So at this point, I'm starting to look for upside. You have 2 options already. Or, well, 3 options. Okay. 1, if we come up here and smack our head, we could look for a short. Okay. 2, if we slam back through this, we can look for a long off of that as an entry, back up to the high. Okay. Um, and then like I mean maybe we just sit here and shop, right? Always an option. So for right now, nothing. The only thing I would take note of is we are coming out of a high time frame fair value gap and have just slammed through an inverse fair value gap. Okay. I'll add a little text to it just so we can see what it is. IFVG. That's OFVG. IFVG. Okay. We'll click again. And now we do have some type of fair value gap getting created over the inverse fair value gap. Click again. Is that all that candle's gonna do? One more time. Okay. We are absolutely ripping. What time is this? 54. Who the hell? Hold on, I gotta read this text. Sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to hit. I was gonna do something. All right, cool. So right here, we want to continue to watch the other time frames. I don't even have that fucking fair value gap. Oh, we deleted it, I think. There wasn't even one. Cool, cool, cool. Nothing on NASDAQ. What time frame are we on? God, this is actually kind of hard to do in replay mode using everything. We're on 55. 3, 2, 3, 4. That should be 5. 5. Nope, 4. Do we need another one? Yeah. Give me another card, blackjack dealer. Bam. All right. So now, just looking at SPY and ES, SPY is back over 667.5, the top of its 667 supply zone. So break and retest could be key here for upside. We got a Qs. We're not quite at 602, so we still might hit 602 and want to smack our head. ES has taken out all of its. I hope it just doesn't just spam it. Yeah, of course it does. Taking out all of its liquidity, including. Actually, is that an equal fucking low? Nah, not an equal low. That's great. We have a liquidity sweep on ES on a 5 minute. Cool deal. Okay. So this is confirming a little bit of upside on NASDAQ. Just reiterating, not a liquidity sweep. We do have a bullish SMT, right? Because NASDAQ came way down here. ES came to, I believe, what was the equivalent of this? 1055. Not even, or nope. 1025. Let's see. 1025. So you could run by that 1010 low, 1010 right here. Right, so NASDAQ dipped lower, ES did not. You do have a bullish SMT. It's just very, very small. And technically, knowing that your target is day of high or high of day of high, but still no real entry yet. Okay, we have come back to a fair value gap so far at this point. There's no reason I should be worried. We have everything is aligning to the upside, right? Pull back to fair value gap, hold, inverse fair value gap, right? We're not really didn't get much of a structure, but we could argue that maybe this was a, excuse me, 30-second break of structure, right? I know it sounds ridiculous, but on the lower time frames, right? You got to think about how these candles are formed on the lower time frames. Russian doll that bitch. And then we have SPY breaking over this. However, the only thing you do realistically have against you across the 4 things we watch is that Qs may be trying to come up here, hit its head, and then drop lower. So that is the only thing. So 1 out of 4, if I would say. That's pretty good. Pretty good for upside. Here, ideally, right, I still want another pullback. So we already have this marked out, EQ, just if this is high, which we're drawing it a little prematurely, but is right about there. So, oh, lovely. That's actually important as text, but well, this motherfucker, bro. I'm gonna have to put my phone on D&D. I can't do this. All right, I can't. That is a deep conversation. I don't remember where I left off. Where did I leave off? I'm guessing just equilibrium, right? So equilibrium is aligning with the fair value gaps we have drawn out. Yes. EQ want to come down to fair value gap. Yeah. Ideally, looking at NASDAQ right now, it'd be retracement into here to catch a long out of. Okay. If that doesn't happen, we can of course watch SPY. So let's see what we get on NASDAQ first. Click. Okay. So we're getting a little something. Ain't nothing that fucking coming out of that, is it? No. We just gone. Time frame is this, or what? How time is it? 59, 55, 1. Potential retest. 2. Retest it. Nope. 3. Is that 59? This should be 58, right? Yeah. God damn, what a fucking V recovery, dude. And there might not even be an A plus setup here. We might have done all of this for nothing. So we've come back to that. That low key probably aligns with Q's. Yeah, now that I look at it, so 59, 10. So we hit the Q spot. Right? Got that. So cool. This is still technically possible, right? So we needed that rejection on Q's, pull back to equilibrium. The equilibrium has changed since we went a little higher. But overall, it's still roughly in the same area. What I'll do, just to mark it out so I don't have to leave that up. I really don't like having big stuff like that on my charts. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And if you use the same color line, just put EQ next to it so you can remember. That's what I do. I got bad memory. Okay, a little bit of a pullback. Not really into anything. Okay, cool. This is where I get slightly more interested. We are back at EQ. Now, the only thing you still have against you, 1002, that's 10-1, 10 flat, 10 flat, 1, 2. And then if we go look at SPY, I bet you it's retesting its level. Nope, slammed through it. So at this point, one of the things we do have to consider is wait, yeah. One of the things we do have to consider, I was like thinking if I was like gonna say it like grammatically correct. Wait, I don't even know if that's grammatically. Whatever. Yeah, it is two is's, isn't it? Is Q's breaking and retesting to the downside of 602.5. Sorry, I was like really confused there. If we are, then we're likely just to come retrace all the way back down to 59, maybe even lower. Okay. Once again, same thing as we said before. If SPY sees a nice break and retest under 667, that's actually a really good short, right? So when you pop higher and you see a fail back below, it means that this is not strong enough. Right? Sellers retook control of that trench. If we see that, that could absolutely mean some downside. So let's go back to NASDAQ. Let's go look at ES real quick so I don't forget about it. ES, we have fair value gaps just all in this range. Okay, technically there's two different ones. There's like a 1 wick in this. I'm just going to add that extra point and understand that, like, you know, if we just slam through it, then I'll just tweak this here. Sometimes I'll do that. Okay. But all of this kind of a fair value gap. Arguably, we do have some type of order block down in this range. We'll go ahead and draw that out too, and we'll add that to NASDAQ. Okay. It's down at this wick. So I got a lot of things to be cautious of to the downside of like downside holds, right? But once again, if we break through that, we probably need to change our bias. Okay. Yeah, I think that went over everything for this exact moment. 1002, we click. Okay. Now we are in a point of interest. Okay. And let me align all of these real quick. 10-3. It's just literally one candle, isn't it? Okay. Did ES? Did Q sweep that? No, it did not. What about ES? Hold on. Okay, so ES is in its fair value gap. And technically, it actually dropped into this one, so we can just edit that. Right? So, bing. Right? We are in a point of interest at this point. Okay. This is where if we start to hold, I'm going to look to click some buttons and enter a trade. I'm primed. I'm locked and loaded. Right, we're holding the inverse fair value gap. We've retraced past EQ. We're in a fair value gap. You know, we're aligning with ES. Everything looks good for this time being. Doesn't mean we click a button. It means we wait for confirmation. Click. Okay. Come down. Still holding it. Still valid. Everything's valid. Click. Bam. Break higher. So at this point, you do, again, on the 30 second. Okay, and using these low time frames, you're gonna have to understand without looking at them. If you want to, you can go look at them. I don't do it, but you got to understand a little bit of how these candles are formed. So, right, this was a 30-second. Half that candle probably went up and then down. Still, the high of that minute is still there. And then we also have this fair value gap here. We're holding in on the 1 minute on NASDAQ. Go to ES, same kind of thing. Bam. So right here, if we come into our notes, I want to show you. Let's go building blocks. IFEGs. IFEGs are when fair value gaps get disrespected. They're best paired with other confluences, are typically used as breakout spots, aka momentum that's spelled absolutely wrong. Last resort for entry. Okay. So the reason we went and reread the note is because if we inverse this fair value gap, I would probably want to look for some type of long. Why is my chart like that? Okay. I'd probably want, there we go. Look for some type of long over that, or maybe see a slight retracement now into this order block, aka back into that fair value gap. We'll just put it that way. But those wick lows. Click again. Deal me another card. Okay. We might be forming a structure, which I'm perfectly okay with. Another 1 minute fair value gap. Click again. That's not a break. Okay. I'm still calling that a valid fair value gap. Let's go look at ES. Now ES, on the other hand, arguably did break its. Let's go look. What time is this? 10:07. What time is this? 10:03. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bink. All right. So now on SPY, we're back over that level, and then on Qs, we're in no man's land. Cool. But we are absolutely wedging. That's the other thing. So take the notes right again. We're going to use this a lot. Just go back to the notes. Do I not have anything on candlesticks? Damn it, I don't. Okay, a wedge. If you guys remember, a wedge is when you have the highs of a downtrend and the lows of an uptrend. Okay? It's not an uptrend, it's not a downtrend. It's basically a consolidation, like to a point of chop. If we look at NASDAQ right here, we can see higher high, lower high, potential lower high, low, higher low. So we are wedging. Okay? Not inverse the fair value gap yet. So right now, still interested in potentially taking a long. Let's see what happens. Bam. That's a break. Click this. Keep these aligned. So it's up to you. And this is actually kind of interesting how this is setting up. So there's two things you can do here. You can enter this trade. Let's say you enter there and risk probably back to these lows, maybe give or take a couple points. Kind of a lot of risk. You're risking 38 points. And then put your target up at these highs. Okay. So you can look for a trade like that. Or you can see if SPY wants to retest, form a break-in retest, and look for a long like this. Okay. Or there's a third option. You can go to Qs and you can do absolutely fucking nothing until we break over 603. Okay. 603, you just sit on your hands for a little bit, see if we get a break and retest. The problem with 603 is that we may never break and retest, and then you probably do miss your opportunity, but you're safe from any rejection at 602.50. If you enter NASDAQ, you could just be wrong and this thing stops you out. And if you enter ES, you may not even, or SPY, you may not even get it. It may not retest it. So let me ask you, what would you guys do? No right or wrong answer. We're biased to the upside. Now we're waiting for entry confirmation. You enter off the inverse fair value gap on NASDAQ right now, which I feel like isn't a horrible trade. You just have to endure a little more risk. You could try and wait for one more retest on SPY, or wait for QQQ to break out and form a break and retest. So, honestly, which one would you guys do? No right or wrong answer here. I'm just curious. Mm. Get yourself a bottle of Sprite, my friend. That shit's good. I'm gonna wait. All right, ABC is gonna wait. Gamer's gonna wait for a spy retest as well. Erad, what are you gonna do? Knack, do you want to answer? Do you want to? My lean is to risk 38 and enter now. Okay. ABC, what are you gonna wait for? What would you wait for? If you had to pick. Wait for retest. ABC. I'd probably enter longs right now. Okay. Okay. So we got a little bit of everything. God, you guys all three. All right. Well, I have no idea what's gonna happen. So I guess one of you will be right, and the rest will be wrong. Click. So, and then for who said he's gonna enter now? You guys want a little trick? If you use TradingView, whether it's to backtest, paper trade, or whatever, if you draw this out, I learned this the other day. You draw out your position the way we have it, click it, and then click this button. You enter unit size. Oh, it doesn't. I guess there's no stop, is there? On this bullshit mode. Typically, what it will do is it will auto align your stuff to where it is. Okay. I thought that was a pretty cool thing I learned the other day. All right. Well, AB, no, not ABC. E-Red, you're in. We clicked another candle, right? Let's go around. We got all three different answers. 9. Like this. God, I wish there was a way. Just having everything on the same one would be fine. So no retest there. Cool. We're in a deep retest. All right. Let's see. Click. Still, you're in it, E-Red, but you're chilling. Bam. E-Red stopped out. 10-11. This is like OD as fuck. Should be 10-11 right here. Yep. 10-11. Nasdaq's done nothing. SPY is retesting. All right. So, does anybody want to enter off the SPY retest other than Gamer? ABC? Knack? Narc? I'm just a nan. I'll enter now. Okay. All right. So we got Gamer and ABC long. I don't know if anybody wants to hop in. I mean, E-Ray, you can always jump back in. All right. So let's see. Click. All right. You're getting upside. And we are still holding this fair value gap, guys. This IFVG on Nasdaq still valid, right? And then look, hold on. This is like lucky OD. This is why me and what maybe Raj joke about it. So we did pull back into that 1 minute fair value gap. So for me, after seeing this, I'd want to see a break of structure. So if we break, depending on price action, if we break this high, right? So if we just wick it, then it's going to move. But if we break through it, then that's where I'd want to be entering it. Just wait for that extra confluence, just as I would recommend to you on SPY, right? Because the next candle on SPY could dump. No, hey, you're right, that's mature. That is very mature. Let's clean this up real quick. Get rid of this and this. There's so much going on these charts. Okay. And then get rid of this. So, before we progress, let's recap what has happened so far. We've had a dump. We pulled back to a 15 minute, I think, 15 minute or 1 hour fair value gap. Had an initial bounce out of it. Retested a fair value gap there. Popped higher. So starting to wedge and then just retested a SPY level and a Nasdaq bullish fair value gap. Okay. So let's see if there's anything I want to pull out of the notes here. No, I don't think so. I was looking for something, but I don't know where it was or what it was. Okay, never mind. We'll look at the notes later. So right now, I just want to see a break of structure, 775.5, and I'm probably long. Click. And this is what I meant, depending on price actions. So this point moves there. I want to see a break of that now. Still nothing. If we go look at SPY, I wish this was easier. I wish I could sync the 2 time frames. 12, 13, 14, 15. So still retesting. I might have hit that one too far. That's 15. Okay. So nothing has changed. Nothing at all. Keep waiting. Keep waiting. Okay, and real quickly, the reason why my entry is now 779 is if we just look at this block right here. I'm going to color this for you guys. Do you see how this could potentially be some type of retracement or flag or whatever you want to call it, right? That is not on the point. That is why it's off. Right? We're seeing some type of something here. I don't want to get caught up in this continued retracement. I want to see price break out of this retracement and break out of this structure that we are forming. If I make this exact, this structure right here, and continue to the upside, right? And as we progress and make lower highs, then you're able to move that potential breakout spot. Also, yeah, we are also still wedging, yeah. Right, so at this point, and the contrary is true, right? Let me add that since you're... Did I not fucking click it? Bro, it's recorded. I'm watching the first half of this video. So if we slam back down through this bottom half of this wedge, you know, maybe we're looking for a much deeper pullback, right? So just as I told you in the pre-market, keeping that type of bias, keeping that some type of, oh, if we break through this, then it's probably going to be downside, right? And 17, click once, twice. And look, if you look on SPY, that same type of little trend line is also very clear, right? We can see we are retracing. The other thing you can do is let's see if there's any intraday SMTs. Are you guys seeing any SMTs? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Anybody seeing any SMTs? That's what I was thinking too, hence the wait for retest. So I can move my stop loss to break even. Stop deposit. Yeah. Anybody seeing any SMTs here at all? My cursor being there is not a hint. Don't think it is. No SMT. Don't think there's an SMT. No. The only thing I would take note of. Oh. I'm gonna let Knack answer. Drum roll, please. I don't see it. Okay. So the bullish fair value gap on ES is not hit. On NASDAQ, it is. Okay. Is it an SMT? Technically, no, it's not an SMT. Is it an indifference between the two correlating assets? Yes. So is an SMT? Technically. I wouldn't like sweat not seeing it or even noticing it, but it is something just to take note of, because what it can mean is, oh, I deleted the wrong fucking thing. God damn it. Wait, I can just, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. What it's to take note of is maybe ES wants to pull back to its fair value gap to find the buyers, right? Before we break out of said wedge, right? So that's the only thing I would take note of, is we have not retraced. Because if you were looking at NASDAQ, remember, we were looking for some type of retracement on this to enter long, but instead we are holding EQ. Okay, so that's it. All to take note of. Let's keep clicking. Click. Okay, that's interesting. Nice little hoorah candle. Not, well, hoorah might be the wrong word. You guys know the word I want to use. And look right here. So it's a little premature. I wouldn't quite move it yet, because if the next candle like closes above 7.9, I'd enter. But if we don't, then I will tweak it to there. Okay, so right here, I then want to move to the high right there. And now I want to enter there. I want to confirm that breakout is there, right? Because so far, we are still just forming this structure thing that we got going on in here. ES, no SMTs, no difference. Hit again. Give me another card, Blackjack Dealer. That's how I feel. I'm gonna play in this. Bing. Okay. Maybe something here. Retest that fair value up again. Let's see if ES hit it. ES hit it. So this low key, if I was a gambling man, as I mentioned blackjack references, this could be a very high probability trade, right? Like this is what I would consider like already, like if you wanted to front run the shit out of this, you're probably looking at an A, not an A minus, not an A plus. Okay, you're looking at a flat A. Okay, if you truly waited for this candle, this 23 candle, 1023 candle to close, I'm giving it an A. Okay, you entered on the like dip down into there, I'm giving it like an A minus, maybe a B plus. The only thing that would make it an A plus in my mind is I want to see the breakout. Okay, I want to see the breakout. We're still in a structure. Okay, there's nothing to think about like we are breaking. So my trade would be some type of catch on that break. If you were trading ES, it would be some type of break above there, 67.11, and then target high of day. High of day at least, or whatever this, that's a liquidity sweep that I never noticed, or like that. I'll get rid of this, bingo. All this low resistance liquidity. Okay. So, back to NASDAQ. Let's see what we get. Hit me, give me a card. Nothing yet. Little something, still within the structure, right? So we're sitting here chopping. There's no decision to be made because we're just literally chopping, in a sense, like still just retracing. Okay, testing that trend line kind of now. Bam, we got a break. Up to you if you guys would want to wait. In my opinion, I would want to give this candle a long. My stop would be probably there, and the reason it's there for right now is I want to endure in case this 1 minute baby ass fair value gap wants to be retested. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking, and set the trade up there. And if you really wanted to get like creative with it, and what sometimes I will do intraday, and it's going to be a whole lot easier to do this real time than on replay mode, is when that next candle opens, and I very well could be wrong, but probability is in my favor. Even if it's a bullish candle, you're still going to create some type of wick, right? So this is where you could look for a failed hoorah candle to the downside, right? You want to see price, basically this candle open up, drop a little lower, maybe the DOM starts to flash green, it starts to, find a spot of holding, or maybe you just, see price kind of wick and then go back up, wait for it to enter there, wait for it to confirm on that entry if you really were trying to snipe the best one. So one strategy I keep fucking word, is stop at the top of the fair value gap. Anytime we drop in the fair gaps, enter long and target EQ. Wait, what? So, one strategy with these fair value gaps is set a stop at the top of the fair value gap. Anytime we drop in the fair value gap, enter long and target EQ. Wait, I feel like I'm understanding that. Stop at the bottom. Oh, I keep saying top. Oh, why do I keep saying that? Oh no, I don't fucking know, dude. I realize what I was doing now, but I don't know. Yeah, stop at the bottom. Yeah, you absolutely could. Must be the Sprite. Shut up. Yeah, and some people do that, right? And like, you absolutely could. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, and that's what I meant by that was the A-rated setup. You absolutely can, right? And if you had entered, you do get a lower probability trade, but you get a better risk reward. So let's say you entered. Did you say entered equilibrium? Target equilibrium between top of fair value gap and top of structure. I don't fucking know what that means. Blame it on the Sprite. But yeah, if you enter here, right, you're risking severely less, 13 points compared to potentially 38 points, right? But you get the lower probability of it working out, but you get better risk reward. Same target, except you get more capitalization to the upside. So yeah, no, absolutely, you could, right? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely could. The only problem is look right here. You have to be cautious of this. So this dipped below that fair value gap by literally a fucking tick, and it stops you. I mean, ERAD. That's the thing though, is you could use that entry to target high time frame thing because you have your whole entire bias. Remember, where an hour ago the start of this all started was that hourly time frame. We were looking for upside out of that 1 hour, so we're looking for a drop into it to long out of it. You know, it's actually funny though. If we started this call at 9:30, we're exactly on pace with the market timing. Um, but you would be, looking to enter on that 1 minute and then trade in the direction of your high time frame bias, which was the 1 hour upside move, right? The liquidity day high, the SMT we found at the lows on the 15-minute between ES and NQ sweeping previous day lows. So you absolutely can. Now, the safe thing to do, yeah, is probably just to scalp it, right? If you were like, oh, I don't know if we're really going to break it out, just scalp up to wherever. Absolutely. Or do what ERAD, or not ERAD, what Gamer probably does. He wants to move his stop straight into break even and then into positive as fast as humanly possible. There's many ways you can do this to catch the upside. And if that was your entry preference, I don't think that's a bad entry preference at all. Once you guys get down into like this part of the strategy, it's kind of up to you guys if you want to wait. And it's always been up to you guys for as long as I've been teaching. Right? If you were waiting for the SPY break-in retest, when do you get the confluence of us breaking out? Because it's the same thing we've been watching here on NASDAQ. There's no break of structure. So when I used to, lead and primarily trade options and this stuff right here, it'd be, you could enter now and have the lower risk to reward, aka you're risking less monetarily, but you have a higher probability of your trade playing out, or you take the higher probability of the trade playing out, but you endure more risk, underlying monetary risk. That is up to you guys. It really is. There's always going to be a safer entry. And still, even where we are right now on this example, you still could wait for a break-in retest over 603 on Qs. That is, you have the potential of missing the entire fucking move, but you also have the potential of you not popping in at 602.5 and getting smacked the shit out of. Stop initially at bottom of fair value gap, enter when it drops. Move stop top of fair value gap. Once it moves up out of the fair value gap, and decide if I want to wait or ride. Knowing that my stop will net me a tiny profit. Yeah, ERAD, right there, bingo. I mean, right? Put that shit in your notes. Bingo. And as long as you pair it with like the bias and everything, and you use some of the reading just the overall structure of the market and reading the SMTs and everything, you're gonna be able to definitely make some money. I don't think that's wrong at all. So, back to the example. I'm gonna freaking click this button actually. Here, 770 to make, about $4,200 if I have the cojones, which you're meant to. And then I do want to mark out this liquidity, right? This is New York open liquidity. Click. Click. So right here, we were trying to form a little bit of a structure. Okay. If this is an uptrend, a retracement is not abnormal, right? Because we've had actually, screw the entry because it's just gonna add more cluster shit on my fucking charts. If we consider this the break of structure, and change of character out of this downtrend, this is the impulse move. A retracement on it isn't abnormal. Let's see. Bam. My guess is this is truly the breakout move. Like, I'm gonna put this out there, so it's not like me trying to like change my answer. I'm 90% sure this is like where we absolutely freaking rip. And I very well could be wrong, but I'm willing to put my reputation on it. Yeah. So at least now, like, there's no way you have to be risking anything. Your stop would be a break even or in profit. But what would happen there, and I'm gonna get rid of this, um, but is that we saw the break of structure. So if we had gone back over here and we remember what we talked about in trends, we have a downtrend, change of structure, or break of structure, change of character, which, look, I think about it would be, hold on, goddamn, be like this. But the change of character, step one, is a break of that. Then two step is into there, right? Three step extension to carry out the uptrend. The only thing that would be wrong is if we came up to here, bumped our heads, and came down lower, forming another change character, continue downside. Right? Does that make sense so far? Me like sidestepping to show you guys an example on why we pulled back. Right? Because we got to continue that trend. We got to, create the higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Cool. I'm going to slow it down. So I don't have to spam the shit out of this button and let it play. Ooh, I wonder if this is going to create a head and shoulders. Okay, no head and shoulders unless it flips. Ooh, this is spicy. That's spicy. That's head and shoulders. And then I bet you money. Hold on, what's this? 11? Did I time that right? No. Yeah, so I figured we smacked our head. Pop higher, yep. Fell back under, form a break and retest. No, yep. Those are roughly the same. That's also very spicy because this is the failed break higher, potential retest to the downside. So absolutely something to take note of, at this point. So if you're long, you do need to be very cautious. Which, honestly, after that retracement, I'm guessing 90% of you guys wouldn't even be long anymore. It definitely would have stopped you out with how you guys are managing your trades, which is perfectly fine, right? It's just being realistic. Because even if you took the entry I took, which I believe was like right here, I mean, you're being up 100 points, $1,000. I can't say for certain I'd even be fucking holding this trade. So it's up to you. E-Red, if you took that trade, how you want to take it, you would have been up about $1,500, a little over $1,700. Your stop definitely would have been trailing the hell out of it, right? So let's be realistic, but let's again just keep watching because you never know, it might show up as a learning lesson. So right now we're up against a head and shoulders to the downside, and we're up against a break and retest to the downside right here. Okay. The only thing that would invalidate it is if we broke above this tweezer top high at 820.39. Okay. And at this point, it's up to you guys if you were like still here in the day, if you were calling it a day, whatever. But let's see if there's anything we want to take note of here. I'm just gonna let it play out. Because my guess, and we never broke trend to the downside, right? If this is the low, that's still a higher low, higher low, higher low. But then it's just maintaining your trade, without risking anything. Yeah, and you take everything out. That's your target. What's this? I would have been on third break structure because it went to the last high. Wait. What are you talking about, like right up here? Not the BOS. BCOS. No, you're good. I always say BC. BCO is interesting. Oh, I guess BCOS. I get so much more pissed at myself when I hold a trade being greedy, then it goes against me, and I get stopped out of break even, get nothing, versus when I exit early netting profit and would have ended up leaving money on the table. Yeah. Story of my life. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, who's gonna tell you, like, sure, could you have caught fucking, I mean, that's what, 5 grand from your hypothetical entry? I'd be up, just shy of it, probably $4,500. So, there's always more money on the table, right? Always, always, always. However, who the fuck is gonna look at you and be like, damn, bro, you caught $1,000 today? You're a bad trader. No, bro. Right? And if you got your entry, right, It's 1500, 1700. The only thing I would say, if you're gonna go the way you're gonna go, try not to let these things um, right here stop you out, right? Because if this is the entry, extension, retracement, extension, allow for yourself to get. You have to wait out 2 hours for that trade too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you really do. Um, but at least try to give yourself like that retracement, right? Because if you can catch one extension move, there's nothing. Nobody. I never will I ever be like, oh well, damn, bro, you left it on the table. No, like that. That's great. Even just catching this. But if you're able to maybe minimize your risk, or if you trade one mini, take 5 micros, right? Or take 10 micros and take some micros off as profit, right? And part of that is we've never even swept that liquidity, I don't think. And right, we created equal highs. Equal highs on Nasdaq, it don't like equal highs. It likes to sweep equal highs. So if you were able to maintain during that retracement, then you could have at least targeted the break and then trailed your stop real tight, um, all the way up. That's the only recommendation I would have. Watch things with Delta Charm. I watched the Gex. I don't fucking know what the charm is. No idea what charm is. Yeah, I mean e-written. That's a great way to do it. And if you get to a point, like hypothetically, you were right. This is like 2 hours of trade. Let's say you get into a runner or two, right, a micro or two, and your entry's way down here, dude. You could put your stop at these like this break of structure or whatever if you really maintained. Say you took 10, you took 9 off up here, and whatever up here. You left that one at break even, so you miss out on maybe $50 in return to potentially make that $200, right? You can absolutely do that. Gamer, I would recommend talking to Mirage about that. He put it on to me like last week or so. Very very new to it. It's basically just like seeing like a visual target. Um, cool deal. At this point, all targets have been swept. If you were a greedy get bastard, you could absolutely, see if we want to break structure up here instead of just grab liquidity. Um, which I honestly have no idea if we do or not. Yeah, we'd break in structure. So if that's the case, and this candle closes, which it probably will, then there's a high probability of us wanting that 310. And looking at this, I can already tell you that pre-market highs was there on SPY and on Qs. So this what we're seeing right here in this moment is a retest. 1245. I'll show you guys instead of just telling you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe. Yeah. 45. Oh, one over. We're seeing a break and retest of the SPY and QQQ level, primarily on the Qs, right? So this could once again warrant another entry, right? Go back to the Qs, break it down. Do do you enter here off of this fair value gap that you just tapped into? Do you wait for the break of structure? That's your call. Let's see if we get a break of structure. Close above that. Bam, you can be long at least target like these highs or up into 610.5. And you don't end up getting it, you get fucking wicked out. And then it happens. AKA story of my life this past week. Yeah. So, which is just a high time frame retracement of an uptrend, right? Because you got to realize everything we just did on that 1 minute is applicable to the higher time frames if you just change. Right? We're continuing an uptrend break. This is a 5 minute retracement of a 5 minute uptrend or a 15 minute uptrend. So technically, it's still a long, right? Because there's no lower high unless we create a lower high. Yeah, I didn't think we would. So cool. Does everything we went over just made a little bit of sense at least? You guys got any questions at all? Don't worry, we're gonna do one more. Yeah. We're gonna do one more, but this time we're gonna fucking speed run it. Okay, you guys cool with that? No one has any questions. Here's what we'll do. I have no idea what happens. So what we're gonna do. Time frame is this? 5 minutes? Oh yeah, that's why that happened end of day. Low key, I was gonna say we could just use this like next day, right? Form some type of bias on it. I mean, should be market open roughly. That's right. We can use this next day, but low key bias is roughly like the exact same. What candle is that? 29. Yeah, this worked perfectly. Right, because it's targeting this liquidity, all that high time frame, low resistance liquidity at like 610 or 310, and then up here. So it's kind of the same thing. It's just where do you enter it? No SMT, real, yep, no SMT, no nothing. Whereas I help a buddy move all day, so I'm beat like a rug right now. Wait, what? Fucking ABC is gung ho since it's the middle of the day for him. Oh yeah, let's do random bar. Yeah, dude, I fucking gotta prep for the snowstorm. I had to fucking get my generator up, get some firewood, put my car in my garage, cook some food. I had to get prepped just in case I lose my power for an extended amount of time. I would do random bar. I'm fine with it. Kind of curious. So right here, what I'm looking for is actually let me screw it. We've already seen it. If I wanted to target that, I swear to fucking god. Maybe a manipulation down here. Okay, target up there, or a break of the structure of the high. Right. There's probably a short in here looking at this. I'm guessing. But yeah, we don't even get it. And then we just go take out that low resistance, and then let's play out for a second. And I want to show you guys something. So if we go to the high time frame, let's go to the 4 hour. What did we just do? We just swept 4 hour liquidity. Okay, go to ES. ES had already swept its. Wow, very nice. T. Okay, so my guess, looking at Nasdaq, just naked guess, probably gonna be some downside. The only thing you want to do in the higher time frame is like, okay, clear as day, some type of trend going on. You know, do we want to break through that? Okay. Wow, this is very quick. I don't really remember it being this quick. And we don't do anything. All right, I'm gonna let you guys pick. I can do random bar if you want, or do you guys want to do? Because like random bar is gonna, yeah, it gives me 9,000 on the Nasdaq, which I mean we can do. And I can't even go that far down, so I gotta go back to this. Hold on, leave. 1 minute. Replay mode. Start new. Random bar. This should give me something decent. Okay, cool. I have no idea where we're at. And then it's gonna fuck it up. If I put this on the daily chart, it's gonna mess everything up and it's gonna spoil where we are. Let's try 15 minutes. I don't want it to give me market open. I want it to stay before market open. 1 hour should be fine. I think 4 hour gives it away. Yeah, because this will just show me the entire 6 o'clock candle. You guys just want to do random bar? Run with this. Set up a bias. Or you guys want to like you guys want to pick a day? You guys give a shit? It don't matter to me. There's just no guarantee there's even a trade in here. All right, we can look for one. All right. Fuck it. We're gonna look for it. But I'm not gonna use SPY and QQQ. So uptrend with big extension. Yeah, right. So 1 hour is unfortunately our highest time frame that we can look at, which is fine. Okay, massive liquidity sweep, like that previous session and whatnot. The day before, we didn't take out any of this or that, but we had a nice extension. Right, we've had a break of structure because like we're still continuing to the upside. Right, we're in the uptrend already. This is your retracement out of the higher time frame uptrend, so it's probably like a 4 hour uptrend, 1 hour retracement. We broke out of the 1 hour retracement. Now we're back in the 4 hour uptrend. Um, Realistically, would like to see some type of pullback, right? And to get into a long to trade the 4 hour uptrend. However, my guess with it being such a high time frame is the day will be short, and then the like next day will be bullish. If I had to guess, right off the rip, and very rarely, you're gonna see some volume imbalance. Mark that with a blue box. Okay, 15 minute. You know what you guys gotta do? Mark out your liquidity. I'm gonna click this 15 minute once, twice. I'll just spam it a little bit. Let's get up to 9. Excuse me. Bingo. Damn it. It's not open, right? Okay, cool. Whatever. Asia. Let's do this. Should be London and Asia highs, I believe. A little bit of highs there. Cool. Look for an SMT. I don't really see any SMTs for the time being. So what you can do is mark out that equivalency for liquidity here, here, and you could mark this out as well. This would be white though, because it's not a session high or low. Mark that out. Volume imbalance. Okay, and this is actually technically Asia lows. So your objective here is you want to target Asia lows on ES and on NQ. It's Asia pre-market lows. To target volume imbalance and a retracement down to the break structure. So my bias is downside for the day to pull back to the high time frame fair value gap, right, to result in probably next day long, maybe long today, right? No idea. Slow this down just so I can let it play. Actually, let's drop time frames. What time is this? Okay, market's just about to open actually. Go 5 minute. Click once, should be market open. Okay, bam, instant drop, volume imbalance failed. Okay, cooked, right? So everything's good. Yeah, right. So then let's see. Okay, bingo. Ideally, I wanted it to pull into that fair value gap. I have a feeling this next candle will do it. Yep. So right here, I like this because everything, all these lower objectives have been taken off for retesting the fair value gap, which we can break it down easily into 2 different ones on the 5 minute. Dude, I swear I clicked those. I must be off by like an inch of its hitbox. Okay, mark out the 2 fair value gaps. Let's click another bar. Look for a green one. Some type of green. See what it looks like. That's an SMT. Probably need to go back to the 5 minute, honestly, look for an SMT. Okay, bullish SMT, technically. ES arguably is not filled its volume imbalance, which is not the SMT. The SMT is based on these lows right there. Right, end of day, New York close. We can see we swept that. ES is not. Okay. Could still be in downside price action. If that's the case, we're looking for a pop higher to short into. On the 1 minute though, we're just gonna see for a second. Probably watch something out of this. I'm gonna delete this fair value gap just for simple sakes. I'm gonna spam it a little bit for speed running. So jump to the 5 minute real quick. Yeah. So we are back into 5 minute fair value gap. The only thing is we don't technically have a liquidity sweep. We do have that SMT. I'm sure if I go to ES, there's probably a half decent setup. Yep, ES did technically sweep its liquidity. Impulse move. There's probably going to be a better entry on ES. Fair value gap. Paired with a head and shoulders, right? I'm already short. Like I'm really looking short around here. Technically, too, you got a little bit of a fucking order block up here. So no entry yet, but definitely like short bias for right this second. It would change if we break through the top of that order block. Okay, then your entry, you're looking for a break of structure. But the other thing you got to be cautious of is you do have a 5 minute fair value gap. So very well could be ping pong type of day. Um, fair value gap, close this off. So you're bouncing between a fair value gap and that ideal breaker structure would be the lows. So look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ, we can narrow this down into this fair value gap. And we do have a bearish SMT based on New York Open, right? Because New York opened on NASDAQ way up here, or like New York session, you know what I mean? And ES is not, so definitely SMT to the downside. Right, if you wanted to be Mr. ERAD, you absolutely could, hypothetically say you're short. Right here, target being, you could target there and just move your stop as fast as humanly possible. I have no idea if you'll actually get it or not, to be honest. Yeah. Bam. Okay, retracement. So if this is, right, remember, we're going to leave this out just so you guys can be aware of it and that we still have it there. Break a structure. If this is going to be continuation of the downside, there's going to be entry in here somewhere short. As we see on NASDAQ, we can actually pair this really nicely with a fair value gap. So you could also try to be short out of here with stop above this. And then you would target, technically you would target low of day, but with ES being where it's at, oh, was it ES? Oh, I guess I just skipped through it. Ideally you of course want to manage the trade, but you want it to fill volume imbalance, come down to day of low on ES, right? Which means basically you'd like let NASDAQ breathe out and see if ES wants to sweep day lows, right? No idea if this is going to work out. But once again, if you're ERAD, you'd already be short off that fucking order block up there, wherever that is. Bingo. So that's enough talking. Let's see if this actually works. Rip. Just imagine, just rips me. Oh, cool. Bam. So it's up to you. I mean, you could wait for that breaker structure. I'm like pretty confident that this market's going to come down. Look at ES. Oh, I clicked too many. Yeah, ES is dumping. So down into that bullish fair value gap. Could still be in it. Let's see if ES took out its. Nope, ES just swept these lows. I'd be chilling. Click, 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 click. See if we want day lows. Yep, there's day low sweep on NASDAQ. ES still has, wow, what an, oh, I was about to say there's no way that's correlated. So yeah, right there, you got a bullish SMT. Highest point is technically back up here, right? But I still think volume imbalance needs to be filled. So click, 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 click. Right, you can see you get more downside. ES is not caught up. Going too fast for it. Click, 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 click. There you go. Again, not caught up. There you go. And you get into there. Right. So not so much about like the entry and whatnot, but do you guys see how you can kind of like swim through it? I got my money. And then once again, right, so now volume imbalance is filled, back to the higher time frames. Probably some type of long out of here. Click, 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 click. For me, if you really just want to be a little gunslinger type of dude, click, 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 motherfucker, get, okay. I was gonna say if we enter that for value gap, but we're just dying. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the day is just over. We might chop higher, but really, that's it. So, all right, let's do 1 minute random bar. Actually, let's delete all of the thing. First shot was C gap, fucking short before bell. Expect market to gap down. Oh wait, did he say that? All right, let me clean all this up real quick, and we're gonna do. Oh, you know what I just realized? I can sync globally. Huh. Last time I did that though, I screwed everything up. I had to spend like 3 hours redrawing everything. It was so obnoxious. Where is this? October. Okay, cool. Get down, market open, do. Last market breathe out. And that should be roughly 9. 7:30. 8. 9:30. I was 1 point too fast. Select bar. Oh, if I select bar, I might fuck it up. Alright, whatever. We're gonna have to go with this. Because I don't want to have any idea. Fuck. It's really gonna screw it up. Hold on, I might be able to do this without screwing it up. Alright, bingo. I want to be able to go to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour. So 1 hour, we're in a retracement after a massive drop. Oh, I actually remember this. Yeah, this swept this liquidity down there and all this. Yeah, I remember this. It's funny. I know exactly. I don't remember what happened, but I remember where we were. What day of the week is this? This might be Fed. I don't know. The day before was Fed meeting, I think. It was. Um. Okay. So right here, right. What are we looking at? High time frame. We were in an uptrend. We broke structure. Right. So down. Looking for a retracement to short into. There's technically a fair value gap up here on the 1 hour. Oh my god, wait a second. Is this exactly? Oh my god, I know exactly what. Oh wow. Alright, you guys want to see something? Look at the points. I'm 99% sure, and I'm cheating a little bit, I guess. Okay, no, I was wrong. I thought it was this right there. I thought it was these, but it's not. That's it's 26-1, 25-7. Right, but so bias for today, just looking at it naturally, is you're either looking for it to push higher, take out all of this high and come into here, or drop lower. Actually, that's way too high of a time frame. That's like weekly biased. Intraday, I would honestly say you're looking for it to sweep highs and then look for a short down into session lows. Looks like you're definitely gonna get an SMT right off market rip. Click. I'm really shocked we didn't just sweep those highs. Ah, well, it's not market open. That would be why. There it is. Sweep, and yes, you get the. Why is it not aligning? It must be going too fast. I'm scaring it. There you go. So, right there, SMT, previous day highs, NASDAQ sweep them. ES did not. Come into here. That's bearish SMT. Oh, wow, we're just way too far ahead. Some type of fucking order block up here if you wanted to. Could try to be short out of this. I don't think we've reached the objectives, right? I think there's still more downside. Did sweep this liquidity and this liquidity. I'm really speedrunning this last example. So yeah, I mean, low key, this could actually be a long because we're coming out of this fair value gap after liquidity sweep. So you could either look for this to take high of day. Well, actually, it'd take probably 160 and let ES take previous day highs. The other thing is no morning drive. So you got to be cautious of any trades. Could just be a choppy day. My guess, if I really, really, really had to guess, it would probably be I'd want to see for upside an inversion of this fair value gap. Right, if that's what we're waiting on for the entry to the downside, I want to see it invert this. That's not an inversion. Come on, give me a fucking real one. There we go. So then once you get that, you could absolutely be looking long up into 160 and ES up into, I feel like these are correlated. Okay. ES up into probably current day high, London high, maybe. I didn't realize how far away we were, but maybe ES, previous day high. Realistically, that previous day high is so fucking far away. It's just like, I don't know if realistic is an option, but this little liquidity adding to the low resistance could be done. Go into it. Let's see if we get some type of long up into 160. Yeah. So 160, and It doesn't fucking correlate. God, it's like, please get off trading view. Yeah, see, trading view took, or trading view. ES took out all of its low resistance liquidity right there. To recap that one as fast as humanly possible, the reason I was originally short until we broke it down, and then what changed is we swept this liquidity with this clear liquidity sweep, right? That is by definition on a 1 minute liquidity sweep. It's not a grab. We had a break of structure to the upside. Okay. Retracement. This would be probably a 5 minute. Yeah. All right. Pull back to that fair value gap. You get a respect of it. It's a little disrespectful, but it respects it. Right? Bam. The one thing that was trying to make me kind of feel short was this. Bam. Wait for it to invert it. It did. You then could absolutely try to be long. Let's just even give it right there. Put your stop at like back at the start of it, or you can put it there, right? I mean, the only thing is the next two candles you do sit through drawdown. Your max pain is 100 270, I think. No, 260. Yeah, it's about 270, 260. I think it's exactly 270. That's funny. Bam. And then how we got our targets is one, high time frame, break a structure, right? But then two, ES, um, high of day, and low resistance liquidity, right? That's how we found the targets. ES is going to want to manipulate the highs. And sure enough, look at this actually, now that I think about this. Technically, it's better on ES because it's actually a true liquidity sweep of days, but potentially a short. And if you were to try this on NASDAQ, you'd be short somewhere into this fair value gap, which is pushing it because it's almost lunchbox, and you got, chop fucking road shit. I wonder if ES does it. Let me see if this actually touches it. No, I wonder if ES ended up touching it. No, didn't. Actually, it did. Wow, look at that. That's funny. And then dumps and targets opposite liquidity. Right, and how did that come from? Is ES liquidity sweep, impulse move. Sure, if we go to the 5 minutes, nothing there. Shocker. Right. Okay, cool. Liquidity sweep possibility. And there's just no fair value gap or anything to enter off of. So get out my magnifying glass for that touch. Yeah, right. I wonder if it actually. I'm curious now for my own personal sake. Oh, I mean, after that candle, I'd be very shocked. Oh, we did. All right, well, fuck it. Now I'm curious. How badly do we dump off? Take out all this. I'm just gonna keep swimming through this as fast as possible. Oh, what the fuck? I drew a line, just turn around and delete it. Right. Bam. Oh, wrong one. Get rid of all of this. Then yeah, we get hindsight. I don't think you guys care. I don't care either. NASDAQ did sweep its. Cool deal. Cool. Let's use NASDAQ. Drop time frame. Impulse move. Oh my god, I remember this day. This day actually pissed me off. The entire day I was waiting for a pullback. I remember exactly this day. You guys were here with me. Because this was equal lows. Oh my god. Yeah, this day was like one of the most annoying days. That's funny. Because I literally, my entire bias was a pullback into like this range to look for a long. To target previous day high. Previous day high, and I think Asia highs. And everything in between. I remember this day. It was hilarious. And we just never got it. I think it was a nothing trade. Like a nothing day. Cool. Okay. That was extremely quick. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's almost been a 2 hour call. So let's spend the next 15 minutes real quick if you guys can, or the next 9 minutes. What questions do you guys have? I mean, today is truly the most important day. It's putting it all together. Like anything, everything. Please. I cannot reiterate how important stuff like that is for today. No questions are bad questions. Okay. So that means on Monday, you think you guys are able to come into this market and execute. No, yeah, I was gonna tell you to paper trade. T5 trades. Cautious. Yeah, I mean, paper trade and taking it slow off the rip is not a bad idea. I'd love to revisit the vids. Yeah, I mean, you guys absolutely. But we still have access chats of shit. Yeah, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna do another month. I mean, the thing is, it's just like nobody gives a shit. So I might see if anybody's interested in it. If no one is, then yeah, you guys will stay. I mean, I guess either way, you guys can stay, but it'll just be rinse and repeat pretty much. Um, I don't know. I'll figure that out if I want to. But I'll make sure that like even if there is another class hypothetically, that you guys will still have access to everything that you've gotten so far. That it doesn't get like deleted for you. I appreciate that. I think with me looking alongside you, calling slash marking, I'd be playing with micros. Yeah. Good after the week I've had, I'd probably be playing with micros too. Yeah. And E-Red, that's funny because that's exactly how I get with like E-Eval. Like funded evals. Dude, I just get so fucking stupid because it's not real money. Um, Sam, that's why I trade 1/10 of what I would really invest. I think that's a great idea, gamer. Thank you, Knack. Knack. Narc. I'm gonna call you Narc. It's gold. Appreciate it. Yeah, paper trading. Dude, guys. I mean, I'm up $2.5 million in my paper trade account. I mean, let's be realistic. How much size have I taken? Let's go order history, balance history. There we go. Where's the big ones? Negative 64,000 plus 2.4. What is this? 425 units. uh, yeah, paper trades. Narc like Nancy Pelosi. Wait, what? I didn't know that. Unusual whales. Wow, I didn't even know this. Wow, what a nice return you got there. 1%, even though buying just straight SPY would have been better, low key. No, I guess not. I thought you were up more than that. Cool deal. I'm gonna end the recording here because I don't actually no, I'm not gonna end the recording here because I need to go into the notes. We need to take notes here. All right, so pre-market analysis is done. Okay. Um, Morning, right? Because then you have morning drive. Um, and that would be look out for liquidity sweeps slash grabs of previous sessions high slash lows. How did I go down a space? Use these sweeps to start. Yeah, I think that's probably what I want to go. Kramer's inverse portfolio B9 plus. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Use these sweeps to start forming intraday biased, aka like remainder up or down. And then I would just continue to look for 5, I'd do like 15-minute or lower SMTs. And then, why do I keep doing that? What was I gonna say? I was gonna be like liquidity sweep. No, what I'm gonna do actually. It's funny, I just did all that just to do this post liquidity. I do liquidity sweep / BB hit, right? Because what we you see is sometimes we're pulling back to that high time frame fair value gap. However, inside of that fair value gap, you see a liquidity sweep. So, it might be like a low time frame liquidity sweep, high time frame fair value gap touch. But post that, you should be looking for an entry in the direction of high time frame biased. Look for impulse. I don't think impulse is it. Why did it say implants? I promise you that's not autocorrect. Look for impulse move. I don't think impulse though is the right word. Impulse move, quote, reaction move from liquidity. Somebody do options and stocks as well, or do you just trade into futures? No, I do options as well. Occasionally, very, very occasionally. I'm actually swinging a Q's put. I opened it on Friday. I don't want to tell anybody, but yeah, I'm in a Q's put. Entered at high of day actually. So I'm actually up in that. That expires Wednesday, I believe. Targeting 618, maybe lower. So, but yeah, I do trade those. Mainly sweeps. Fucking swings, God. Look for impulse move, reaction move from liquidity. Reaction move leaves behind building block. Once reaction move breaks, I guess it'd be like change of character. Look for retracement to building block to enter. Trying to decide if I want to play Xbox after I do this. Looks for retracement to building block to enter. And then at this point, 2 options. Actually, can I go like this? 2 options. Right? You got enter on touch of building block, right? So this would be like what eRed does. Or wait for break of structure / technically it is change of character of the retracement to building block. Okay, we've already gone over this, but just to do it, you have lowest risk but lowest probability. I'm just putting probe. And then you got higher risk but more prob. Okay. So, and then by the end of it, what I mean, that's kind of pretty much it, actually. I was gonna say I'll just reiterate it. but that's up to you guys. It's just like reiterating the entries, exits. Well, like if then that statement. So then it would be like, just to do it, if price sweeps liquidity, then has an reaction move and opposite direction of liquidity, right? AKA like opposite direction of, I'm just gonna put liquidity sweep, right? You guys get it, but just for verbiage, liquidity sweep. Look for building block and a retracement to it. If this happens, or I just do like to it, and then enter on the break of, I guess it would be like the breakout of the retracement. Breakout of the retracement, then enter on the breakout of the retracement to the building block with targets at unswept liquidity. And then I would be like, opening bell high, high slash low, London or Asia, and then like maybe previous day, right? And then like overall notes could be look for SMTs to confirm direction, but also but also align with key entry spots. This would be like NQ hit FVG, ES did not. This would be like, I wish I had like an arrow. Is there an arrow on my thing? I guess I could do this. Wait for ES to tap its FVG. And then this would be like EX example. No, I had that right. Yep. Look for SMT to confirm. And the other thing would be basically right with SMTs, kind of, would be use other pair. Okay, so I'm gonna put other pair. So if you're trading NQ, right, use ES. If you're trading gold, silver, right, use the other correlating pair. Use other pairs. Liquidity targets, or I guess it'd be other pairs draw on liquidity. For potential, that's not how you spell it, there's an I in it, whatever, potential targets, right? So this would be like NQ will already be over current day highs, but ES will want to hit its, right? So we wait for ES to hit its, right? Pretty so much rocket science there. Anything else you guys think I need to add to my notes? Anything you added to your notes that I don't have that you want to share with the group? If you guys do want to leave at this point, you absolutely can, and then just rewatch from this point on, and I'll if you do leave here. It's the 2 hour mark of the video. So I know you guys are typing, so I'm gonna let you do your thing. Video should almost be over. Gotta go for sure now. For sure. Yeah. Alright, gamer. If you want to rewatch the last half of the video, this is a 2 hour mark. Yeah. So I'll just put that when I post the video. Yeah. Good night, gamer. Enjoy your Sunday. See you, my friend. E-Red, you're good for now. Cool. Think I'm going to call it as well. It's midnight. Yeah, I know. Late. By all means, I don't think there's gonna be anything more other than just reiterate notes, end it. So you're pretty good. Of course, you read. If you think of any questions, just let me know. Nancy Pelosi, do you have any questions? Literally, your name is Nance. Nant. Nant? Nah, I think we've had this conversation before. Knack. I feel like we've had this conversation before. You're good. Cool. ABC, you're good. Does all of this make sense? You guys think? Yeah, of course. Okay. Cool deal. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. And then yeah, Monday for the next one. Cool deal. 2 hour video. That's crazy. Adios.